Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Do me a favor, come out of my ear. It's the only thing we got to remember to do. Thank you. It's, and I say this jokingly, we've got one button that you got to remember to come out of my ear when I come back. And I think I already told you, DJ, I've got enough voices in my head already. I don't need any new ones, right? Don't need any new extra voices in this head, right? Okay, there's the way you can. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. 68 degrees here in LJ, Georgia. And there's the phone number and the email address. You can get in touch with this show, and there are the social media ways you can follow us. All right, so we talked about, John Bolton, the mustache, and obviously right now, Trump knows what he's doing. He goes to the Oval Office and calls him a tough guy. Says we spent $7 trillion on a war in Iraq. He got us into that war. I tell you what, if you would take the time, and if you don't think Trump is serious about draining the swamp, because there's been some people, I want you to think about this, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but I want you to think about this. There's people that Trump has brought into the administration. Now, Joe Scarborough does not like it when people say Trump's playing checkers and everybody else is, Trump's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers, or three-dimensional chess Trump's playing. I do think he is, and I do not think he's all the above dumb and chaotic and all this and that, and Trump's personality, and Bolton saying, well, in due time, I'll let you know what kind of guy Trump really is. I believe it to a little bit that Trump gets out there because, they can tell you around the shop here, right? I get out there from time to time, so I got it. But I really think when it comes to the swamp, there's many of you that he has appointed several people into positions that we can't quite get our head around. We can't figure it out. Don't know exactly why he brought this one in. Don't know why. But watch as they leave, okay? You could not figure out exactly why he brought H.R. McMaster in. A lot of talk. H.R. McMaster came in, a lot of talk. But then he left. Oh my God, chaotic White House, the only voice of reason's leaving. What did Trump learn from the swamp before he kicked them, the swamp creatures, before he kicked them back out into the swamp? John Bolton. Now, I keep saying we don't have time. We don't. I only have 2 hours a day. All right? Period. But when it comes to John Bolton and the warmongers that always want to keep a war going, always, the Rothschilds, oh my God, I should have never went there, right? But always want to keep a war going so we can always build planes and always build missiles and always build to launch next aircraft carriers, well, you name it, right? Kill our kids. I mean, hey, they're a part of the, let me tell you something. I know, I guess some people are going to get angry, but our kids are part of the war budget. And part of the casualty to the global warmongers that get in that big room that you could picture with the big cigars and sit around the table, your kids are just a casualty of them doing business. I know you didn't like it, but there you go. That all being said, and I say that all too many times, think about Bolton coming in. Think about Bolton. When you heard John Bolton was coming in, I got messages, I don't know about that, right? Think about the people Trump brings into the administration. And then think about the fact that as soon as they leave, Trump actually has no fear whatsoever of boom, lowering a boom. I mean, Bolton's gone 24, not even 24 hours. He's in the Oval Office. Hey, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. All right, tough guy. Good for him. Got us in Iraq, $7 trillion. What a tough guy. The Libyan model. Couldn't keep his damn mouth shut, I'm trying to work. I had to send him somewhere else. You go somewhere else. I got to work on this. Tough guy, real tough guy, all right? He's not very bright. This guy's not very bright. Trump has no fear of going all in. Knowing, you think Trump, you got a choice. And I'm getting sidetracked here, so I got to get back, DJ, and focus. But I'm thinking about it. You have a choice. You can go one way and think Trump is just dumb as hell. Okay? I'm serious. He's just dumb as all get out. He is as dumb, backward, chaotic as the media wants to portray him 7 days a week. Or you can go this way and say, this guy's got it going on. Because you do not sit, trust me, you do not sit and look at all these cameras and reporters and blast Bolton if Bolton's able to come out the next day and say, you like to eat, ice cream, in Scooby-Doo pajamas. I don't know. I mean, you always think I'm silly, but I'm thinking, here's a guy that could probably say, I know something. Trump doesn't care. Just keep that in mind. All right, moving right along. New York Times, right? Business leaders call on Congress to act on gun violence. 145 companies. We're going to talk about that. But when I say first, I want to go to this because the election's coming up. There is a surprising statement, right? So let's talk about tonight's debate a minute. We need to get to the Asylum, the Supreme Court, what they did. We need to get to that. But let's talk about tonight's election. So let's see here. Let's go with this. Number 11. All right, debate, election, debate, the Democrat debate tonight. Okay. So at 1 a.m., CNN, at 1 a.m. Pacific time. So guess what? Right out of box, 4 a.m. I'm sitting there at 4 a.m. I got to find something else to do at 4 a.m. But at 4 a.m., right out of the box, right? Line up for tonight's Democratic debate. That was CNN there, boy. Third Democratic debate tonight on ABC. ABC put out a warning. Look, we're not going to have a time delay, so O'Rourke, keep your F-ups and all your, foul language, to yourself, okay? So Yang is going to dance nude. He's going to jump out from behind. Wait a minute. I don't know, but he's got a big announcement. He says he's going to do something that's never been done. So I think what Yang's going to do, right? Here's what I think. I think he's going to jump out from behind the podium. He's going to have one of those stripper costumes on where he's got the suit and he can just go like this and it's gone. And he's going to start shaking $1,000 all over his body and saying, this could be yours. This is how crazy the damn Democrats are. Don't look at me, okay? Yang said if elected, he's giving everybody in the United States $1,000 a month. So I think he's going to show his grand off. That's pretty good. I write my own material. All right, so he's going to show his $100,000 bar. That went too far. Okay, good. It should have stopped when I was ahead. All right, so we're going to go here. So let's stay with the election, okay? Let's stay with the election. Now we go over to MSNBC, number 16. Same setup here, but, a little different graphic. But they're all excited. 2020 Democrats set to face off in the third debate. Now, Amy, let's go one at a time. Amy Klobuchar. Don't yell back at the camera because I actually can feel it at times, all right? Amy Klobuchar, okay, from Minnesota, I actually like. Oh, my God, did you hear her say this? Yeah. Do you know how liberal she is? Yeah, I got it. I actually like her. She keeps trying to sell herself as the moderate, which there's not one person in this 10, not one candidate out of 10 that I feel should be president of the United States and I'm comfortable with. But kind of like Amy, I would say after this debate, maybe she drops off. Now, Cory Booker, as you've heard multiple times, the only black candidate, not Carmel. Now, I call her Carmel, Kamala Harris, but her caramel-colored skin. Okay, not one other candidate, only black candidate. Their last president was half black, okay? He was a coffee creamer, all right? Cory Booker, so there we are. So, only black candidate, senator from New Jersey, which I think allegedly, I think he's gay. I think, sources say, I don't know. But I can't understand why the dude just don't come right out of the box and say, look, I'm gay like Buttigieg, but I'm single. Check my profile out. Whatever. Okay, so he is just, he may be gone after tonight. Now there's Pete Buttigieg. Okay? I call him Peter Pan Buttigieg. Okay? And I call his wife Buttigieg, Judge. All right, don't have humor at these times. Peter Pan and his wife, Tinkerbell, I call it, okay? Let me get back up here. So now there's a lot of talk on the amount of money. Now he's only polling 2, 4, 6%, okay? He is gay candidate, let's be serious, from Mayor, South Bend, Indiana. And the black SUV rolled up and said, hey, Mayor Pete, get in. They took a ride, said, you can't be president now, but we're going to get you ready for like 8 years from now because we want things to go a certain direction. But Mayor Pete has the money. Now, let me say this, and I know as controversial as it gets, okay? Mayor Pete has a whole lot of money. Where did Mayor Pete get a whole lot of money from if he's only polling 2, 4, and 6? You remember the bulk of his money that he got at campaign contributions, okay, came when he was only polling at 2%. So Pete has the money. He doesn't have the backing yet, but he has the money to buy backing or buy supporters. He is setting up ground games. So Pete's not gone yet. That little gay guy's a sneaky little dude. He's not gone yet. He's got $20 big million, okay? So here's the deal. Where do you get all that money? Well, if every gay person, lesbian, or transgender or whatever you are, if everybody in America sent him $100, he'd have millions of dollars. That's where his money came from. So the LGBT community is really pushing the money in that guy's campaign. So he's not gone yet. He's still there. He's got the money. He's building a ground game. You better be careful. They talk about, now I'm not predicting anything on Peter Pan Buttigieg there, but they talk about Elizabeth Warren and how she has risen in the polls and she's neck and neck. Don't count this guy out because this guy's got enough money to go into New Hampshire, pick 2 states. He could pick 3 states right now. He's trying to figure out, he was on the Breakfast Club the other day, how to get some black vote, but he can go in Iowa, and obviously Iowa, you don't need the black vote. Interesting. Go to New Hampshire, won't have a big need for black vote. It won't be till South Carolina. But if he can pull off a New Hampshire and Iowa upset, now let's think it out. He could be big enough to start a little roll. Yeah. So let's get away from him. Let's go to the other end before we get to the center, and there's Julian Castro that has just thrown any piece of feces against the wall. He is one of them that's thrown any little bit of feces against the wall to see if it sticks. He's like, I shouldn't do that. All right, no, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm already labeled a racist, so how can we take that away, right? So Julian Castro's like the monkey you like for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he grabs something from his butt and throws it at you. I know. But hey, I like to say things like that. Like you're thinking, you're okay. You're not a bad guy. Next thing you know, boom, I'm going to protect transgender males' rights to have an abortion. Oh man, I got to go home and figure that one out, okay? So he is this weird, he wants to decriminalize the border, decriminalize it, period. You come across the border, no criminal charges. All right. So let's move over. He's gone. He should be gone after tonight. Francis O'Rourke, a foul-mouthed, arrogant, jackass little punk kid, okay, that the media turned into a rock star in Texas and led the people of the nation in Texas to believe that this was just a rational, smart young man that deserved to be a senator. And they did everything to create this candidate. This candidate is 100% created by the deep state corporate corrupt media. Now they don't know what to do with him because if you remember, Francis started out as the golden boy. I mean, they started out first 2 weeks with this guy. His fundraising was up. His polling numbers was up. Why, thank God, every one of them were salivating. Chuck Todd, every one of them on MSNBC. What's his name? Felt the thrill go up his leg. Everything. And then they were like, I don't think we can take this national. So I think he's out pretty soon. Andrew Yang said he was going to do something tonight in the debate. Something outrageous. Something, it was going to be shocking. So we're just going to have to see. Now, again, going from Amy Klobuchar to Andrew Yang, I would like to sit down and speak with Andrew Yang, because I don't think you can grow the economy from the bottom up. I don't, okay? And I understand the argument that people have on trickle down, all right? Now, if you have a true capitalist system, and I say true, where the government's not tweaking certain sectors of, like, if we get rid of the Walmart, okay, corporate welfare, okay, and the market will bear, okay, what's needed for people in America to survive, instead of corporate welfare, we'll see a difference. So I believe trickle-down economics works from the top if we change corporate welfare and make it work properly. I'll leave it alone. I want to say a couple things I'm stuttering over them. I shouldn't. So Yang wants to give everybody in America $1,000, okay, every month. And then he wants to talk about the automation and what's going to happen. All right. Now, we're talking about a guy, me, all right, that I've always said the interstates have a medium, and we've already cleared land on the interstate highways, and I do not understand why we can't get a tractor-trailer system to swerve over in the medium and lock in to a high-speed rail if you're going from here to California, whatever, where you have no need. Now, I was just thinking, to have to get in that traffic. But there's things like that, not particularly that, but there's things that they're working on for automation that's going to change drastically in the next 25 years. Yang talks about that. So I would like to sit down and talk to Yang, but he's probably out after tonight, maybe. Kamala Harris punched Joe Biden in the chops, gave him a black eye one night. All right. The next, she came out the next day. She acted like, what's his name? Who was that on? Who did Rocky fight? What was his name? What was the first guy that the first Rocky movie? Yeah, Apollo Creed. All right. There you go. Now let me get my roll. So Kamala Harris punches Joe Biden, because Joe's a former boxer, right? So Kamala Harris punches Joe Biden in the chops that night, comes out like Apollo Creed the next day, goes on all the networks. She's wearing a red, white, and blue boxing gloves and hat, and she kicked Joe's ass. Joe didn't get a rematch, but Joe called somebody, Gabby Gifford. Is that not Gabby Gifford? The lady from Hawaii. Gabbard. Senator Gabbard or whatever. But he calls her, What's her name? Yes, thank you. Tulsi Gabbard. He calls Tulsi Gabbard and he says, hey, we need to kick her ass. So she shows up. I don't want to hit her. She's a woman. So Tulsi Gabbard shows up and may be the vice presidential nominee, maybe, because she beat Kamala Harris's ass in the next debate. And then next thing you know, Kamala's way down in the polls because she couldn't stick with it. And the only memorable thing for me, that's one. And the second memorable thing for me with her is, on the Breakfast Club, she was smoking doobies with Snoop Dogg, listening to Tupac or something, whatever, in college. So she's gone, all right? Now we have the three, and I want to get off this, all right, and I know you do. Bernie Sanders will not be allowed to be the Democrat nominee, period. It's done. It's over. Bernie's writing a book. Bernie will end here after the primaries, okay? And when he ends after the primary, they will give him a great big speaking position like Hillary did at the National Democratic Convention, and then after that, he will go write his book and put a couple more mil in the bank, and then he'll have his campaign fund, and he'll just head up there to Vermont and sit on the front porch and eat pancakes and maple syrup. I don't know what that Jew is going to do when he gets done, but they're not going to let him be in. But I'm going somewhere with this. Biden is the anointed one, but he's having trouble. Biden needs all these other people to fall off, and Elizabeth Warren is the progressive that wants to take down Wall Street. So before we get into too far, Pocahontas, Sleepy Joe, and Crazy Bernie, I want you to focus on that three, okay? And the possibility that the Democrats have three, maybe four, but three people that could split their delegates to a point that they can go to a floor fight at the convention. Now, remember, and I'll get away from this subject. Remember at this time in 2016, before 2015, when every single day the media was coming out and they were talking about a convention floor fight. And they were talking about Ted Cruz going through and, grabbing the delegates and cutting deals, and they would go and they would flip at the convention. They did everything. Yeah, Paul Manafort's in prison for it. So Trump has to bring in Paul Manafort, because Paul Manafort, and you can do the research, I'll tell you this, he was good at hold on a second. Okay. Paul Manafort was good at, no, that's not fair. No, it's not fair. Going back with Reagan, Paul Manafort was good. I just lost my train of thought. I got my train back. He was good at getting delegates together at the convention. He was very good. He worked for Ronald Reagan, right? He was very good at going to the convention, putting the delegates together, going in all the delegate rooms of each state, getting everybody and making it happen. So Trump hired him and said, look, go to the convention, get all my delegates together, make sure there's what was I going to say? Anyhow, that there's no coup here at the Republican National Convention. There was going to be a coup. Remember all that talk? All right, I'll get past the stutter. Every bit of that talk, okay, with the Republicans. Not one word about Democrats. Not one word. Wait till the voting starts. They don't even bring up the scenario. Now, you would say, well, there's not even been a vote. How can you have that discussion? I'm telling you right now, if this was Republicans, they would be going crazy. They would pound in your head trying to pick the candidates for you, which they're doing here also. But they would be right now talking about those three front runners that possibly could split the delegates to a point, okay, of a floor fight on the convention. Now, I don't know why I went there. We got so much others to do. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk about Facebook telling you every time. I'm going to tell you, we're going to take this and we'll talk about Facebook telling you every time when the election comes about, all the positive news on Trump, they'll have a fake tag under it. Watch and see. I'll show you after this break.